Your house smells clean, the counters are wiped, the bathroom is scrubbed, the floors are done, the laundry smells like a spring meadow or a fresh ocean breeze or whatever the label promised you. And somewhere in the middle of all of that cleaning, you absorbed a cocktail of synthetic chemicals through your skin, inhaled a bunch more through your lungs, and left residue on every surface your food will touch for the rest of the week. Your dog licked the floor, your cat walked through the kitchen and cleaned their paws, and nobody on the package mentioned any of that. Whether you're a man or woman in your 40s and beyond, your hormonal system is already navigating a significant shift. The last thing you need is your cleaning cupboard making this shit worse. Let's talk about what's actually in these products and what I've been using for well over a decade now. 15 years as a holistic nutritionist, and what that means is that I look at the whole person, body, mind, and spirit, not just one piece of the puzzle in isolation. And when I started connecting the dots between the synthetic chemicals in everyday household products and the hormonal disruption I was seeing in clients, I cleaned out my cleaning cupboard and never looked back. That was more than 10 years ago. My house is still clean, and shockingly, it's survived. So first, how does this actually happen? Most people figure it, if they're not eating it, it's not a problem. 3 roots. Your skin, when you touch any clean surface or when product contacts your skin directly during cleaning. Your lungs from sprays and aerosols that send fine particles straight into your respiratory system and from there into your bloodstream. And your mouth. Residue left on kitchen surfaces, counters, and dishes that come into contact with your food. This is not a one-off exposure. If you're cleaning your home regularly, which most people do, you're getting repeated, chronic, low-level contact with these compounds week after week, year after year. And that kind of accumulated exposure is exactly what researchers have found most disruptive to hormonal health. It's not one big dip that does, not one big hit that does the damage, it's the slow drip. Before we get into the chemicals, can we talk about your animals for a second? Because this is a part that made me act fast when I learned it. Your dog is on the floor, your cat is on the floor, they're walking through every surface you've just cleaned, pressing their faces into it, breathing it in at close range, and then licking their paws. They are getting a concentrated, repeated, full-body exposure to whatever you're spraying in your home, and they have no idea. They're just living their lives, trusting you completely. If you need a reason to switch, and that felt urgent, that's it for a lot of people. It was for me. So some of the ingredients that are worth knowing about are phthalates. These are hiding inside the synthetic fragrance in most conventional cleaning products, and that fresh linen or ocean breeze smell, those are phthalates, and they're well-documented endocrine disruptors. In women, they interfere with estrogen signaling and contribute to hormonal imbalance in men. They directly suppress testosterone production. And here's the frustrating part. They don't have to be listed on the labels. They are considered part of a proprietary fragrance formula. So fragrance or parfum on an ingredient list can mean dozens of synthetic chemicals, including phthalates, and you have no way of knowing from the label alone. Also, they fall under what is categorized as the GRAS, G-R-A-S, generally recognized as safe. So they don't have to list them because they fell under that in the 70s and 60s, and they haven't changed the laws since. Triclosan, found in some bacterial cleaning products and hand soaps. It interferes with your thyroid hormone signaling, and your thyroid controls your metabolism, energy, weight, mood, and body temperature. When something disrupts thyroid signaling, you feel it across the board. Triclosan has been restricted in some products in Canada and in the US, but it's still present in others, so it's definitely worth checking into. And then there's everything else. Disinfectants, fabric softeners, dryer sheets, multi-surface sprays. The ingredient list on most conventional cleaning products reads like a chemistry exam nobody asked for. Compounds that linger on surfaces long after you've cleaned. Compounds that get into your food, compounds that have been associated in research with reproductive disruption, reduced fertility, and increased inflammatory load. The list is long, and most of the names are genuinely unpronounceable. The version is short. If it came in a brightly colored bottle with a synthetic fragrance and a vague promise to kill 99.9% of everything, it almost certainly contains multiple compounds your hormonal system would rather not deal with. The EWG, the Environmental Working Group, has a free guide to healthy cleaning at ewg.org that rates products by ingredient transparency and toxicity. Same organization that publishes the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 for produce. Worth bookmarking, and I will put it in the comments below. So over a decade of natural cleaning, and I can tell you honestly, my home is clean. Might be untidy, but it's clean. This is not a compromise, and here's the actual lineup. White vinegar, this is my workhorse, an exceptional all-purpose cleaner, natural disinfectant, and deodorizer. It cuts grease, removes minerals deposits, handles counters, sinks, stovetops, faucets, and glass. I dilute it in water in a glass spray bottle, roughly probably a quarter, let's say, cup of vinegar to 3/4 a cup of water. It smells like vinegar until it dries, but then that smell becomes nothing. It's a natural, it neutralizes odors instead of masking them with a synthetic fragrance. No chemicals, no residues, safe for the cat and dog. Baking soda, the scrubber, sinks, tubs, grout, the inside of the oven, toilets, completely non-toxic, costs almost nothing, works better than most commercial scrubbing products. Combine vinegar for a satisfying fizz that helps lift grime. Don't don't store them mixed together. Use them separately and mix them together when you're going to use it. So, pour a little baking soda and then vinegar and then scrub your sink. Fantastic. Liquid Castile soap. This one does a lot of heavy lifting. It's a plant-based soap. Dr. Bronner's is the most well-known brand. It works for floors, bathrooms, dishes, and general cleaning, and it doesn't just stop there. Castile soap is genuinely one of the most versatile products you can have in your home. I use it to make my own body wash, shampoo, hand soap, and if you've watched my shampoo video, you already know it's a staple in my bathroom too. A little goes a long way. It's biodegradable, and there's no synthetic fragrance in sight. Also, the liter of it costs a shit ton of money. However, that liter makes like 40 times the amount. So if you find it expensive, remember, you're using drops of it to a cup of water compared to a half a bucket of that and a half a bucket of water. Essential oils. These ones are for scent. A few drops of tea tree, lavender, eucalyptus, or lemon in your cleaning solutions. Real botanical compounds, not synthetic fragrance. Tea tree has genuine antimicrobial properties. Lavender and eucalyptus smell amazing and actually deodorize rather than just covering things up. Glass containers. This one matters more than people realize. If you're making the switch to natural cleaning products, especially to reduce your chemical exposure, storing them in plastic spray bottles is totally counterproductive. Chemicals from the plastic leach into the solution, especially with acidic ingredients like vinegar. So I store everything in glass. It closes the loop. It's also more durable, easier to clean, and honestly looks better on the shelf. Plus, if you can see through the glass, you can actually see what's in the bottle. So a note on hydrogen peroxide. It's a legitimate natural disinfectant, the 3% solution that is available at most grocery and drug stores. Works well on bathroom surfaces and for mold. I just don't use it as part of a regular part of my routine, but it's worth having around for heavy-duty disinfectants when you need it. Keep it in its original dark bottle and use it separately from vinegar. It is one, however, that I will use come this time of year in the spring when I need to clean all of that film off the inside of the windscreen in the car. It works better than vinegar to get rid of, and that's from the heat that goes up there and then it fogs and defogs. And anyway, it just creates that film here in Canada. And it works great for removing that film. So let's be specific about what this switch actually does for your hormonal health, because it's different for men and women, and both are worth understanding. For women in their 40s, phthalates and synthetic musks in conventional cleaning products add xenoestrogen compounds to a system that's already dealing with fluctuating estrogen levels. That contributes to estrogen dominance and too much estrogen activity, which shows up as heavier periods, more intense PMS, bloating, mood swings, and difficulty losing weight. Reducing the incoming xenoestrogen load from your environment is one of the most practical things you can do to support your hormonal balance during perimenopause and beyond. For men in their 40s, phthalates specifically have been shown to suppress testosterone production. Testosterone naturally begins a gradual decline throughout this decade anyway. Adding compounds that actively suppress it further through repeated daily exposure is not helping your energy, your body composition, your mood, or your libido. Removing that exposure is a straightforward win. For both, thyroid disruption from compounds like triclosan affects everyone equally. Your thyroid doesn't care what gender you are. A sluggish thyroid function shows up as fatigue, weight that won't shift, brain fog, and feeling cold, and it affects men and women in the same miserable ways. So you don't have to throw everything out tomorrow. Start with whatever you use the most. That all-purpose spray, the bathroom cleaner, the laundry detergent. Make one swap. A glass bottle with diluted vinegar and a few drops of tea tree oil will handle most of what your all-purpose cleaner was doing for a fraction of the cost with none of the chemical load. Although if you're using essential oils, be sure to make sure they are pet safe. When the bathroom cleaner, then the laundry, over a few months, you'll have turned over your whole cleaning cupboard and your weekly exposure to synthetic endocrine disruptors drops dramatically. Your pets will be safer, your hormones will have far less to deal with, and your home will still be clean. The EWG Guide to Healthy Cleaning is a good resource if you want to check specific products that you're already using or find rated alternatives. EWG.org, completely free. So we spend a lot of energy thinking about what we eat and not nearly enough thinking about what we clean with. But the exposure is real. It's repeated and it accumulates over years and decades. In your 40s, whether you're a man dealing with declining testosterone or a woman navigating perimenopause, your hormonal system already has enough shit on its plate. Your cleaning products shouldn't be adding to it. Vinegar, baking soda, Castile soap, glass bottles, a few drops of essential oils, that's the whole system. It works, it's cheap, and your dog can lick the floor in peace. Subscribe for more Don't BS nutritional advice, and I'll see you in the next one.